His name once rang out in every living room in America. Not because of the noise, not because of the scandal, but because he made people see themselves in a look, a smile, a mature character and a collective memory. But on the last day, there were no more lights. No stage. Only a cold stream of water and an empty space that no one could name. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, 54 years old. An artist, a cultural icon, gone while still living his fullest life. In this video, we will retrace the entire journey of cause of death, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and untold legacy. If you believe that lives like these deserve to be remembered with respect, please subscribe to the channel. Because memories only live when someone holds them. On July 20, 2025, the entertainment world was stunned by an unexpected loss. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, actor, director, musician and cultural icon, passed away at the age of 54. The man who had touched millions of hearts as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, passed away not in a hospital bed, not after a battle with time, but while living life to the fullest. It was a summer afternoon in Lemon, Costa Rica. Malcolm was on vacation with his family. The sky was blue, the waves were gentle, nothing foreshadowed the tragedy. He went into the water, as he had always done, but this time, a strong current appeared, silently like an invisible arm of the ocean. When rescuers approached, all efforts were too late. He passed away suddenly, quietly like a note interrupted in an unfinished symphony. The news spread quickly and fans around the world flooded social media with farewells. On X, Stampin called it a punch in the gut, while Geek Vibes Nation described the loss as absolutely heartbreaking. But Malcolm was more than just a character. From the relatable Theo, to the Grammy-winning TV director, to the founder of the podcast Not All Hood, his life was a testament to relentless creativity, tenacity, and a deep commitment to the Black community. He lived as if every moment mattered. And then he died as he had lived, with sincerity, suddenness, and meaning. Malcolm-Jamal Warner has never been a flashy presence. In a world full of flashy and glamorous artists, he has chosen a quiet, practical but still artistic lifestyle. His home in Studio City, California, which he bought in 1994 for just $470,000, is not luxurious but warm, a place he calls a real home. His estimated net worth ranges from $6 to $12 million. It is the result of more than 4 decades of serious artistic work, from television, film, theater to music and podcasts. However, what he left behind is more than the numbers, a living space that reflects his true self. In that house, the wooden base still sits right by the window where he used to sit and play when the afternoon sun shines through the curtains. A signed poster of The Cosby Show from the cast still hangs in the living room, next to the microphone that recorded dozens of hours of the Not All Hood podcast. In the smallest corner is a photo of him holding his daughter, both smiling brightly in the soft light of the backyard, a simple yet complete moment. No one knows what will happen to that house after he is gone. But they say that there are places that don't need to be lived in but still have warmth, simply because the person who lived there put their whole heart into every detail. Have you ever heard an old voice in your memory and your heart sank? Malcolm-Jamal Warner entered the living rooms of millions of American families every Friday night, not through the front door, but through the TV screen, through laughter and small lessons of everyday life. On The Cosby Show, little Theo was not just the son of Cliff and Claire. He was the embodiment of an entire generation of Black teenagers, honest, rebellious, full of mistakes but also full of the desire to be understood, loved, and accepted. Malcolm, then only 13 years old, did not act Theo, he lived it. The way he looked at his father, the way he sulked when he was misunderstood, the way he held back tears when talking about dyslexia were all so real that viewers no longer saw a character, but a real child. It was this truth that made Malcolm a part of American cultural memory, not because he was famous, but because he was close. He is not remembered as a teen star, but as someone who was present in very real moments, when we sat next to our fathers, watching TV, laughing and falling silent after family lessons. Not many young people keep the light in their eyes after a television childhood. But Malcolm was different. The light that followed him throughout his life was not the spotlight, but the light of a person who knew that the most valuable thing he could give was kindness. In an era when television often lacked positive images of black people, Malcolm, with his quietness and maturity beyond his years, became an open door, even for those who had never seen themselves on screen. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was born on August 18, 1970, in Jersey City, New Jersey, in a small apartment where big dreams often have to survive on their own. From the start, he was not just a smart kid, but the product of unconditional love and determination from his mother, Pamela Warner. Pamela, a paralegal, was the woman who single-handedly steered the family after a divorce, but she did not complain. When Malcolm was very young, she decided to move her and her son from New Jersey to Los Angeles, not to escape, but to find a space where her son's artistic dreams could take root. There, amid the afternoons filled with car exhaust and cement buildings, she sought to raise her son with both reason and heart. Malcolm began acting lessons in elementary school, but the difference was not in the classroom, but in the evenings when mother and son read scripts together, adjusted their voices, and repeated each small line in the living room. Those who have met Malcolm say his calmness and depth come not from his fame, but from the way he grew up being listened to, trusted, and loved unconditionally. His personal life has been a journey of both pain and healing. His intense relationship with Michelle Thomas, his co-star of nearly a decade, ended tragically when she died of stomach cancer in 1998. Malcolm rarely spoke about that pain, but those close to him knew, after Michelle, he would never let anyone get too close to his heart. Still, life opened another door. In 2017, Malcolm welcomed his first daughter with his wife Kesha, a private attorney from Connecticut. The small family doesn't appear much in public, but in rare moments on social media, we still see Malcolm's smile soften as he cradles his daughter's small head. Deep down, he doesn't need the world to know who he is. He just wanted his daughter to know that her father was always there silently, fully, and never leaving. When it comes to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, people often think of Theo Huxtable, the teenager on The Cosby Show, who lived with millions of viewers for 8 seasons, from 1984 to 1992. That role not only brought Malcolm to the limelight, but also opened a new era for the image of black families on American television. At the age of 13, Malcolm did not just play a character. He transformed into a son, a student, a person learning to grow up between love and challenge, and that is what made Theo an icon. The show did not teach with lessons, but with very real situations. One time, Theo's parents confiscated his belongings to teach him a lesson about the value of money, and in that clumsiness, viewers saw themselves. In 1986, Malcolm was nominated for an Emmy for Outstanding Supporting Actor. But for him, the greatest reward was when viewers said, "I see myself in you." After The Cosby Show, many child actors struggled to escape their old shadow. But Malcolm did not try to run away, he chose to expand his voice into other roles as a director, musician, producer. At the age of 17, he began directing music videos for names like New Edition, Special Ed, Heavy D. By 22, he directed Time Out, The Truth About HIV, AIDS, and You, a public education documentary, bringing together Magic Johnson, Arsenio Hall, and Paula Abdul. The work was broadcast across the US, at a time when HIV was still heavily stigmatized. He continued to leave his mark in series such as Malcolm and Eddie, Jeremiah, Suits, and especially the role of Al Cowlings in the People v. O.J. Simpson, American crime story where he expressed the inner self of a man caught between friendship and justice. The role was not flashy, but full of power. The audience called it the weighty silence. Along with acting, music is Malcolm's second soul. He is a skilled bassist, performing with the likes of Earl Klugh, and forming his own band, Miles Long, which combines jazz, funk, and Randy B. In 2015, he won a Grammy with Robert Glasper and Layla Hathaway for the song Jesus Children. But Malcolm didn't bring the award home to show off, he simply said, "Music is where I can be free without having to say much." And then, television called him again, this time as Dr. A.J. Austin in The Resident, 2018 to 2023. A talented, strong, but also emotionally scarred cardiothoracic surgeon. Viewers don't just see a doctor, they see a person. And once again, Malcolm did the hardest thing, make the audience believe in a character, by being true to himself. Some people live to be recognized. Some people live to tell a true story. Malcolm chose the latter, and for that, he left behind more than a halo. Malcolm-Jamal Warner has never called himself an inspiration. He doesn't speak eloquently on a big stage, he doesn't mentor professionally or serve as a media ambassador. But to the millions who have followed him from Cosby to the Not All Hood podcast, he has left behind something that the spotlight can't measure, a genuine presence. He can sit in a small studio and read a short poem about his late father. He can play a simple bass line at a black theater festival in Atlanta. He can quietly watch his daughter run through the grass and write a few thoughts on a notepad. Those little things, when added together, are his greatest legacy. In Not All Hood, he talks about mental health, about fatherhood, about community. Not as an expert, but as an older brother, both experienced and gentle. People listen, not because he speaks loudly, but because in that silence, they hear themselves. Malcolm once said, "If I can make someone feel less alone, then every role I play, every song I play, will matter." And it's true. He didn't just help people see themselves on screen. He helped them feel less alone, less silent, and have the courage to tell their own stories. Malcolm's legacy isn't in galleries. It's in the hearts of those who have felt understood. Malcolm-Jamal Warner leaves no noise. He leaves a feeling that someone once understood us, once like us, once made us feel less lost. If you ever smiled when watching Theo grow up, ever fell silent when listening to him talk about pain, please leave a comment below, so that those memories do not pass quietly. If Malcolm's story has touched your soul, if his work has inspired you to live strongly, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's light his fire together, honor the man who brought us laughter, thoughts, and emotions. Thank you for accompanying us on the journey to discover Malcolm's life. Goodbye.